Hello, I'm Michael Raber here for Raber's Parts Mart, and I want to talk to you today about Triumph carburetor mounting O-rings. Beginning in 1970-71, Triumph began to phase out the rigid insulator that we are familiar with, and they brought in this big fat O-ring. And a lot of people don't care for the way they fit. We get calls from time to time where people say, hey, you sent me the wrong O-ring. And so just to recap, here's the old style O-ring and the old insulator, and that would have been supplied for many years. And then beginning in, like I say, 70-71, Triumph began to supply this fat O-ring. And what we aim to do today is install this and show you that they can be used, and it's actually a pretty good setup. So to install the fat O-ring, I'm going to put a little bit of just a dab of some old sticky grease on here, and we're going to squeeze that into the groove there, maybe, and we'll stick the O-ring on there. It's not a whole bunch, and we're not lubricating anything. We just want to glue the O-ring into place more or less so it stays put. Also coming along in 70-71 was this stepped stud arrangement. So most of the Triumphs, certainly from 71 on, but I think beginning in 70, had this stepped stud thing. And coupled with the fat O-ring, essentially make a rubber mounted carb. So let me go back for a little more grease. There we go. And you can wipe off the excess once you get it mounted. It's not going to hurt anything. There we go. There we go. So like I say, the fat O-ring coupled with the stepped studs and the proper equipment will more or less make for a rubber mounted carburetor. And Nick's going to have some part numbers at the end to fill in the blanks as far as what's going on. So we're going to offer the carburetor up there. We're going to put the studs, the little donuts on each stud, the metal caps to go over that. And then we'll try to start our nuts. We can't push it fully on because there won't be room to start the nuts, as you know, so we have to do a little bit of a shuffle here to get them on. I think we got it. There we go. If we were doing this in the real world, we'd use lock nuts, but for the sake of what we're doing, we're going to just use standard nuts. And we can go ahead and run those on. You want to obviously be aware that your O-ring is not hanging out the bottom or falling out of its position. And it doesn't seat into the groove. It doesn't snap in like the old skinny O-ring. It just sort of hangs on the surface until you get it squeezed down. And once you get it going, it can't go anyplace, and I think it more or less rolls into the groove. But the goal is, I think Triumph's goal is that you have a lot less tendency or capability to bend the carburetor flanges because you've got rubber here and rubber here. So it's a good idea, and once you get everything more or less snugged up, you essentially have a rubber mounted carburetor. It's got a little bit of flexibility. It's probably technically better insulated from the heat because it's got a great deal less metal to metal contact. So it's all in all not a bad arrangement. It's just more difficult to install than the phenolic insulator and the skinny O-ring. So that's the scoop. And we thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.